Hi everyone, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. It's a beautiful, beautiful day out there today. Really lovely. What are you all up to? Who's coming on to do some crocheting with me today? We're having to do a really horrible job. We're having to do our VAT. It's VAT time. So we managed to get a few orders and stuff done. Sort out all the orders and all quite quickly this morning. Got all the last of those bits done, and yeah, so we're going to be spending the rest of the afternoon doing our VAT. It's not fun, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's not too bad when there's two of us doing it. We can plough through it quite quickly. And then this evening, I've got no comments again.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with my Facebook guys, I'm afraid. We thought we'd fixed it, but don't know what's happening. But Drew's going to read it on his phone, okay? So he'll be able to see if you're saying hello or anything. Who's coming online, Drew? Who's there with us today?
So we've got Meg, we've got Kate, Sean.
Cool. Hi Meg, hi Sean, hi Kate. Well, it's Eileen, is it?
We've got Sheila as well, who's just joined us.
Lovely. Fab. Hi everybody. So what am I doing this evening? It's a bit of a last minute thing, but I'm going to be doing another one of the Facebook Lives on the craft shows page at 7 p.m. So if you fancy pootling over there and having a look at that, that would be brilliant. Yeah, that's 7 o'clock this evening. So again, what am I going to do this time? Oh, we're going to do, because they only asked me yesterday because they had somebody drop out. So yeah, Terry said, who's the lady who runs it? She's asked us to fill in, which is okay, because we had something ready for it to go, which was good, because I was a bit like, oh, what am I going to do? But it's okay. So we're going to do some quilting. We're going to do some quilting, because we've done sort of just sewing projects the last couple of times. So we're going to do a bit of quilting this time. So that's 7 o'clock on the craft shows page, which some of you will have watched me on before. So yeah, have a little check out of that at 7 o'clock tonight if you like. We do tend to do like a giveaway and stuff as well. So we're going to do some crochet today, and I thought I'd show you crocheted hexagons, how to do some hexagon shapes. These could be, these make really cute little coasters, or you could join them all together and make a blanket or whatever you like with them. They're quite an easy little thing, but there are sort of 5 rounds to it, okay? So some of it might be a little bit tedious, I'm afraid, as I'm going round the round, so I'm going to show you each round. There are hundreds and hundreds of patterns out there for hexagons, and I will post on our page after this. This pattern, because this isn't my pattern, like I've said before, I don't write crochet patterns. I haven't got time. I'd quite like to, but I haven't got time. And so I'll post the link to the one that we're doing, but I'll also post some links to some other patterns as well, because there's lots and lots of variations. So we're gonna get going. So I've chosen to, I'm just sewing in ends. I should be looking at you really, shouldn't I? And there's me sewing in my ends. We're gonna make some little hexagons, okay? Now this is something you can just keep going with and make them bigger if you want. There are patterns out there for much bigger ones. This one though, I thought was a nice little one to show you, just to get you started on the shape. And you can do them in lots of colours, or you can do them in solid colours, or you can do them in mixture. And then we would join them together, and I'll show you how we're going to join them afterwards as well. So you can see they kind of all sit in like that, and you would just build them up to make a blanket or whatever it is you want to do. So I've just chosen these lovely sherbet colours. So I'm using the Special DK, which we stock lots of. So I've got Candy Floss, which is the pink, Spring Green, which is this lovely sort of minty spring green colour, and then Sherbet, which is the blue. So I'm just using up some bits that we had around, but we've got all those colours and lots of others on our website. But you can see can you see how they'll all sort of interlink like that? Okay. I'm going to show you how to change colours as well, how I find easiest, so you don't get funny little blippy bits. Okay. So if anybody's there, everyone's there, we'll get started. So what I'm going to do is I'll start with pink for the centre this time. Okay, here we go, just roll off some yarn, and then it's going to be lots and lots of close-up work for Drew. So we're going to start with a slip knot. Okay, so we're going to make a slip knot to start with, like that, and get that onto my hook. Now I'm using double knit yarn, so I'd be using a 4mm hook. Obviously if you're going to do them in chunky, you would need to go up. 4-ply, you'd need to go down. Okay, and then we're going to chain 4. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, ooh, sorry, 3 and 4, like that. So I've chained 4, and then we're going to go into the first chain here, okay, because we're going to make a little ring just to work into. Okay, so I'm going to go into that first chain here. So I'm not counting the one on my hook. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, back to the first one here that I did. Insert my hook like that, and we're going to slip, ooh, can't get my teeth in tonight. Slip stitch in. So pull up the yarn, and then don't wrap or anything again, just go straight through. And you end up with a tiny little circle, okay? And I'm just going to wiggle it like that, so you can see where my nail is here. That's where we're going to be working, that tiny little circle, okay? So that's technically row 1 done, all right? But row 2, I'm going to use the same colour. So I'm going to chain 3, so round and pull through, round, pull through, round, pull through. So that's getting my height, and that acts as the first treble. And now I want to put 11 trebles into this little ring. So I'll go through it with you again, okay? So just get the tail out of the way. So we're going to wrap and go push into that centre and pick up the yarn. So I've got 3 on my hook. Wrap through 2, wrap through 2. So that's my first treble completed. So I've got another 10 to do. So wrap, in, pull up, wrap through 2. Ooh, don't split the yarn. Through 2. Wrap through 2, and again, so wrap, in, pull up, wrap through 2, wrap through 2. So I've got my chain, which is acting like a treble, and I've got 1, 2, 3. So technically I've got 4 stitches in there so far, and I want to end up with 12. So I've done my chain, and I've done 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do, here we go, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. Oh, just roll off some more yarn. 7 and 8 and 9. Sorry, it might be a little bit dull watching this. 10 and 11. So that's 11 trebles, and that chain 3 is acting like a treble, so that makes my 12th stitch. So I've got, hopefully you guys can see this. So I've got my chain there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's my first row complete, and I'm going to change colours. Like I said, I will put this pattern, the link to this pattern. It's an Attic 24 pattern. I will put a link on for you, okay? So it's a free pattern online she's done. So you'll be able to see it later if you want to, okay? So you've got the written instructions. Now, I'm going to swap to a new colour. So I'm going to do, what should I do? Let's do blue next, okay? So just while I'm just getting this ready, anybody there who's having a chat today? Oh, are you right, Drew?
Yeah, it's quite tense. I can read this. Meg says she loves the mint colour.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's really pretty.
Maria says hello, and Meg says I like the colour of your nails too.
Oh, thanks. Oh, they're really chipped. I've got to take it off later because it's really bad. But thanks.
Meg asks, I was doing a pattern the other day. That was wrapping to before you insert the first time.
Yeah.
I thought it was a triple.
And it's what they call an American triple. So if it says triple and it's an American pattern, that's what we call a double treble. So if you wrap twice and go in, that's what we call in the UK a double treble. In America, they call them trebles. So check out your pattern. It's possible that it's an American pattern. So in America, we've got a double, a treble, and a double treble. They call them single, double trebles, just to be confusing. And a lot of patterns online are American. So if you're wrapping twice, that's an American treble, which is a UK double treble. Okay.
Then Karen said, I crochet 5 large hexagons with equilateral triangles. Sorry, retired math teacher. in between
Nice.
with feet, her head and tail to make a tortoise nursery mat for my grandson.
Oh, wow, that sounds amazing. If you've got a picture, pop it onto Facebook for us so we can see. That sounds really cool. Yeah, they would look like the hexagons would look like the shell, wouldn't they, of a tortoise or a turtle. Brilliant. Lovely. Oh, yeah, let's see a picture if you've got one. Okay. Oh, sorry, excuse me, my nose is mega itchy, as per usual. Right, okay, so you want to slip stitch into the top of this chain to close the circle up and finish the row. Okay, so you're going to insert your hook into the top of this chain here. Okay, so it's into that stitch there. And now if we were doing it in one colour, we would just pull that through and pull it through again to slip stitch it closed. Okay, the thing with that is if you then change colours, you end up with little blips of colour. So what we want to do, because we're going to change colour on this, is we want to pull through the new colour. Okay, so I've got my new colour, which is the blue. I'll hold this out of the way like that. So I'm going to insert my hook just like I would, but instead of pulling through the pink, I'm going to pull through the blue. Okay, like that and like that. So I've slip stitched, and can you see that the blue now is sat here waiting for the next round? If that was pink, you'd get a little pink blip in the start of your next stitch. Okay, so by pulling through at the end of the previous round the new colour, it means that you don't get any of those little blips of colour. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'll show you again when we get to the next round. So that's round one and two done. So round three, we're going to chain two. So 1, 2. Now you can cut off this pink actually. Just leave your ends. Okay, you can sew those in later. Unfortunately, changing colour means you end up having to sew in ends. There's no sewing ends if you do them solid. And then we're going to pop a treble, okay, right into here, like this, into this first stitch. So we're going to pop a treble into there, okay, like that. So you can see the chain and the treble is in exactly the same place. Hopefully you can see that. Then we're going to chain one, because we're going to put a little bit of space between. Now we're going to do what they call a cluster stitch. So you're going to start with the start of a treble. So I'm going to wrap into this next stitch and pull up, wrap and go through 2, but don't finish the stitch. Okay, so wrap and in and pull up and go through 2, and then once you've got 3 back on the hook, we're going to go through all 3. Okay, so that's a little what they call a cluster stitch. Then chain 1, so I'm going to do that again into the next stitch, and we're going to do this same stitch into every stitch all the way around. So wrap, in, pull up, wrap through the first 2, wrap, in, pull up, wrap through those first 2 until I've got 3 on my hook again, and then I'm going to go through all 3, and then chain 1 to get a little gap, and then we're going to do that again. So wrap, in, pull up, wrap through 2, wrap, in, pull up, through 2, and then we're going to go through all 3 like that. Okay, so can you see, so my chain in my single treble there acts like one of these little clusters, and then I've got a chain 1, and then I've got the first of the cluster, chain 1, another cluster, chain 1, another cluster, and I'm going to do that all the way around. So chain 1 and then a little cluster stitch. So in, pull up, through 2, through 2, and through all 3, and chain 1. So I'm going to work my way all the way round on this. Okay, any questions there, Drew? Can you see any questions?
Linda Head said they make nice play footballs too.
Oh yes, yeah. If you put them all together like in a 3D shape, they will. They come together as like a football, like a ball for a baby, a soft ball, which is really nice.
Anne says hi, and then Meg asks, the American stitches make more sense in my head. Any tips on weaving in the ends?
Yeah, I'll show you that in a moment. Lovely, weaving in ends. Yes, a lot of people say that about the American stitches. I think for me it's always the fact that I always think about what's on my hook before I do. So like a treble, is round, in and pull up. So for me, a treble is I've got 3 on my hook, so that's why it's a treble. But the Americans call that a double. But it's fine. It's whatever works for you. It really doesn't matter, whatever works for you. It's just knowing whether your pattern is American or British. I mean, if you get into, I noticed the other day that Starcraft have got some crochet alongs, but they've got Dutch instructions, because I think they're different again. You know, lots of different countries have different terminology for these stitches, which doesn't help when you're trying to work it all out. But yeah, Ronnie, who comes to our Monday morning group, she prefers the American terminology as well, Meg. So if it works for you, lovely, you go for it. It's just, I suppose I was taught the British terminology, so that's what's stuck in my head. There we go. So I'm just carrying on with these clusters, and I think have I got one more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, there's one more. I thought that was a stitch there. Okay, there we go. There's the last stitch there. Okay, so there's that little cluster. Like that. And finish and chain 1. And then we're going to join into this first stitch here. So we're going to slip stitch into the top there. Okay, but again, I'm going to change colour. So I'm going to slip stitch. Right, actually, no. Excuse me, ignore that. I'm going to change colour, but the next round of this pattern starts in this chain space here. Okay, so I don't want to change my colour until I've got to the start of the row. Otherwise, I'd have little coloured bits on my slip stitches. So I'm going to go into that top stitch there of the chain and slip stitch, and then into the next stitch along, which is that one there, and slip stitch. And then I actually want to slip stitch into this first chain 1 space here. So this is where I would change colours. So I'm going to just grab the green, because it's the last bit before I start the next row. Okay, so I'm going to slip stitch by bringing through that new colour and finishing it off with the new colour, so that it all sits nicely and you don't get those little blips. Okay. Oh, let's just get that out of the way. So next row, okay, so at the minute I've got that little round of trebles, and then I've got a little round of clusters. And like I said, this is just one pattern from hundreds and hundreds that are out there for hexagons. I just thought it was quite a nice one because you've got a few different stitches in it. So I'm going to chain 3 to start, and then I'm going to put 2 trebles not into the stitch, into the chain 1 space. So this little space here, you see where the chain 1s were, it's the space you're working into. You're not working into the top. So I'm going to put 2 trebles into there. So 1 and 2. Okay, like that. And then we're going to chain 1. And now I'm going to put 3 trebles into this next chain 1 space here. Okay, so 1, 2. So it's just like when you do a granny square, this little round, you know, you don't work into the space rather than the stitch. There we go. So there's 3 into that one, and then chain 1, and just unroll some wool. And then I'm going to put 3 into the next one, and I'm going to put 3 into each one as we go round. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 into that one, and always chaining 1 in between. And then 3 into this one here. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that is what all this round is 3 trebles into each one of these spaces with a chain 1 in between. Okay, so while I do this, any questions, Drew? Any comments? Who's got anything to say?
Sandra's replied to Linda's. How would the air stay in? I'm assuming the balls, the football stuff, boy.
Yeah. It's not air, my darling. Put some fluff in it. Put some toy stuff in them. Or you can line them, yeah. Like softballs, not footballs, missus.
And Linda said very smart sand.
You two are very sarcastic with each other, it's funny. Here we go. So I'm just putting 3 trebles in each one all the way round. There we go, like that. treble, another chain, sorry, and then another set of 3 trebles. Like I said, sorry, this is a little bit dull, this bit, while I'm working round the row, but I can't show you the next row unless I finish it off, so need to just get this done. Okay, nearly there. Anybody else online today? Who's there today? Anybody I haven't said hello to? I'm sure there's lots of you. I mean, it's very difficult with the comments sometimes. They move so fast. It's hard to catch people's names.
Says hi.
Hey, lovely.
Veronica as well says hi.
Hi, lovely. Oh, there we go. Nearly there. I'm into this last one here, like that. And then chain 1, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 there. Okay, so I'm going to find the chain there. Oh, let's find it like that. And I'm going to be working I'm going to start in the, am I going to start, hang on, 2 seconds, girls. Yes, I'm going to be slip stitching over to here because then my next row starts in this gap here. So I'm going to slip stitch through in the green. So 1, and all the slip stitch is doing is move. You can see it's not growing at all. It's just moving the yarn over to where I need it to be. Okay, so my next one is in here. So I'm going to slip stitch into here, but I don't want to bring the green up. I want to bring the new colour. So I'm going to go back to the pink, like this. And 2 seconds. Let's just find the end. There we go. Okay, so chop off the green like that. Get that one out of the way, and then I'm going to bring the pink wherever the end is. Sorry, there we go. I'm making Drew work for it today.
Tina says hi. She said when lockdown's over, I really must try it and get over to the shop and maybe one or 2 of your classes.
Please do, that would be lovely. So all I'm doing is bringing through that pink, okay, like that. And then we're on to our final row. Well, no, actually, this is a little setup row before we do the final row. And at the moment, you can see it's just a circle. And we're going to this final 2 rows of what we're going to turn it into a hexagon. So I've slip stitched into that chain 1 space, like that. Now I want to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I want to anchor this little chain into the next chain space along. So I'm just going to slip stitch into that next chain. So you can see I've got this little chain where it's anchored. So chain 3 again. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to anchor into here like that. So it's just a slip stitch just to hold that where I need it to be. Okay, then 3, 1, 2, 3, and anchor it into there like that. And I'm going to work my way all the way around this circle, doing 3 chains and then a slip stitch to anchor. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and anchor, and then 1, 2, 3, anchor, and I'm just going all the way around. Okay, so any other comments? Anybody else there having a chat while I'm doing this?
No, not so far.
No, you're all very quiet today, ladies. You're just watching me. 2, 3, and then anchor. Yeah, I don't know why the comments won't show up on my page. It was a lot easier for Drew because he's filming, but he's having to like keep looking at his phone as well and read the comments out. It's I don't know what's going on with Facebook and our tech. I mean, Sarah's phone wouldn't let her go live for about 2 weeks, and then suddenly, without her doing anything, it came back. It's very bizarre. It's tech, brilliant when it works, pain in the bum when it doesn't. 2, 3, and then I'm going to anchor back where I started into that one. Okay. Now I'm not going to change colour for this next row because this foundation bit here is actually part of the final row, so I don't need to change colours on this. So I'm just going to pull out some more yarn, just so I've got plenty to work with. And then final little row, and this is where we turn it into a hexagon. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, and we're going to be working into this chain loop here. Okay, So I'm going to put 2 trebles into there to start with, because that first chain acts like a treble. So 1, 2, like that. And then I need to put 2 chains in, 1, 2, and then I'm going to put another 3 trebles into that same loop, under this loop here. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3. Okay, like that. So you can see you've got my chain and 2 trebles, a little gap there of 2 chains, and then another 3 trebles. Okay, like that. Okay, so the next one along, we're going to work into this next little chain here. Okay, just here. So then we're going to put, this is a straight side, because that's technically made a corner of the hexagon, so this is a straight side. So you don't need to chain or anything in between. You're just going to put 3 trebles. Oh, don't split the wool. We're going to put 3 trebles into here. So 1, oh, hang on, I've just caught that thread. There we go. 2 and 3. And then in the next one, we're going to make another corner. So a corner is 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 chains and another 3 trebles straight into that same loop. Okay, so it seems quite a lot going in there, but that's what's going to make the corner. 2 and 3. And then in the next chain loop, we're going to just put 3 by itself. So 1, 2 and 3. And then we're on to another corner. So it's literally going to, around all of these loops, we're going to go corner, straight, all the way round. Okay, so a corner one is 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles. So 1, 2, 3, 2 chains, 1, 2, and then 3 trebles. 1, 2, I'm going to get some more yarn off, and 3. And hopefully you can see how the shape is starting to appear. Okay, so I've done a corner, so my next one is like a straight side of the hexagon. So we're just going to put a single lot of 3 trebles in there. So 1, 2, 3, and then the next one's a corner. So that's my 3, 2 chains, 3 trebles. Okay. So again, so that it's not just me being monotonous talking this through every time. Anybody there? Anybody having a little chat?
She says she's watching and learning.
Good, good.
And says enjoying watching you while I'm stitching scrubs together.
Oh, bless you. Still doing scrubs. Oh, my mum's group, in Gloucestershire, they've actually been told they don't need to make any more now, that they've got enough scrubs. So, I mean, she's done hundreds now. But yeah, the group have stopped now making scrubs. I think they're doing face masks now for like care homes and doctor surgeries and just general public for going out and about in.
And then Linda says, good shots, Drew, clear to follow.
Ah, well done, groups. That's good that you can all see it well. So I'm back on a corner again now. So 3 trebles, 2 chain.
Said posted the tortoise map on Facebook.
Ah, lovely, thank you. I'll have a little look when we're finished. 2, 3, like that. So can you see how these corners, doing a corner and then a straight and then a corner, you're creating that hexagon shape. Okay, like I said, this isn't my pattern. It is it's Attic 24, this one, but when I was looking for different things the other day to do for hexagons, there's lots and lots out there. There's some really interesting, there's ones where you can create like floral designs in the centre before making the hexagon, all sorts. So I'll post a couple of links up so you can have a little explore, certainly to this pattern. But if you just put into Google crochet hexagon patterns, you'll be astounded by the amount that are there. So this is my last little corner. like that. 1, 2, 3, and then I've got one final straight one here, so I've just got 3 trebles to pop into here. So 1.
And says last lot, I think, and he said, yeah, we finished scrubs in bath too.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, I think there's been a massive effort, wasn't there, to get them all done. Okay, so now we're going to find that first chain there and just slip stitch into the very top like that, and your hexagon's actually complete. So we would snip off the yarn here and just wrap and pull all the way through to knot it down. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that one up there because that's gone really loopy. That's better. Okay, so you would make as many of those as you wanted to. You know, it's one of those really nice little projects. Once you've done a couple, the pattern will really get stuck in your head. And you know, it's one of those things you can travel with and stuff. You know, just have a couple of small balls of yarn in a little drawstring bag, and you can just make hexes, or just do them all the same colour. So I thought what I'd do is, Meg asked me to show you how to weave in ends. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. I'm pretty lazy with my. You can crochet them in as you go, particularly if you're doing like amigurumi stuff. So you want a really nice big eyed needle, a bodkin, okay, or a yarn needle, and I tend to try and follow the direction of the yarn so that it's not as obvious. So like with this one, I'd tuck it under there like that, okay, so that it kind of disappears, and tuck it under like that, and kind of weave. There we go, and kind of weave it back in the direction that the yarn went. So can you see there's a little one there that I can pull it under, and then under that one, and go over to this one, and I just kind of weave it back through, following the line of the yarn. You know, you can see the stitches and where the yarn's kind of gone. So and that's it. I don't think you need more than that, and I would just snip it off then. I don't like to put knots in, but you can't really see where I've woven it in. So let me see if let me do another one for you so you can see. Here we go. Let's try this green one up here. You want to be able to see the difference against the pink then. Okay, so I've managed to catch that. Let me just pull that in. So I would kind of take it. Can you see you've got a little blip there? So I'd take it under that one there and pull through like that, and then take it down to here so it's kind of following the natural line of the stitch. And then maybe under there and go back up the next one. Again, there's lots and lots of different ways of doing it, but I just kind of hide it underneath the stitches. I don't know if this is necessarily the right way to do it, but it's just the way I've always done it. Like that. And then like here, I would just take it maybe under there. Oh, come on, doesn't want to go. There we go. And back through those little green bits there, like that. Okay. And then snip it off. I don't think you need to weave in that much, to be honest. That would be all I would do on those, and I would just weave in those ends. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you was just how to join them as well. So you can absolutely just use a bodkin and mattress stitch these together, or over sew them together, but you do tend to see that more often, particularly if it's different colours. You can also crochet them together. Okay. So if I take these two here, you can crochet them together. Okay, I haven't woven any of the ends in on this yet. So I'm going to line them up, and you can do this with squares or whatever you're doing, okay, but you can definitely do them with these. So I want this corner here to match into that corner there, and that corner there to match into that corner there. So if I just pop a slip knot onto there to do my first stitch, you can double crochet them together. So, and again, there's lots of different ways. So I'm going to put them wrong sides together like that. And you have to sew this one in, but you can actually do a path of these if you work it out. And I'm going to go through both of those corner bits there and slip stitch it in like that. Okay. And then you can, you can either double crochet them, which gives it a really nice sort of ridged look, or you can slip stitch them. So I'm going to pick up the stitch, so the back loop from this one, and the back loop from that one, okay, and you can pull through and slip stitch. So I'm picking up the back loop from that one, back loop from that one, and you can slip stitch it, okay. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm picking it, so I'm not going through both of the loops like that. I'm just taking the back one from there and the one that's nearest, so it's the back one from the green, and slip stitch them together like that. And you can work your way down, just going stitch by stitch like this. So in that one and that one. Now, like I said, you could make this a double crochet and this would give you like a ridge look on this, which is quite nice. It's quite nice and textured. Or you can just slip stitch them and it will go flat. When I open this out, it'll be nice and flat. But there are, if you look for, again on Google, there are hundreds of different ways of how to join these. Oh, where am I? Lost that last stitch. There it is there. It's very difficult having to hold, trying to see the back stitch because I'm holding it. And then I would just slip stitch into the space like that. So that when I open them out, like that, okay, you've got a nice flat seam there, okay. I don't know if you, hopefully you can see that. It's quite a nice flat seam. Now you could use a matching thread, or you could use contrast thread, which is what I've done there, so you can really see it, you know, but it goes really nice and flat like that. And then, you know, rather than breaking the yarn, I could then add in this one here and go right sides together and crochet along there, okay. I won't do that now because obviously you don't need to see me do that whole thing again, but just slip stitching them together like that actually gives you a really nice flat seam. And I would maybe with this, if I was going to do all these, maybe pick like a white or a, you know, a mauve or something, so I'm bringing another colour in for those seams. What Linda was saying about making a ball, if you do like that and go all the way around the hexagon, the top hexagon, so you would make enough to go around all there, and then one on the bottom, and then stuff it, it becomes a ball shape. It works really, really well. Cool. Any questions or anything? But do you want me to go through any of that again, girls and guys? Is there anything there?
Sandra and cases, I want a needle like that.
These are really expensive ones, I have to say. They're clover ones, and they cost me about 18 quid for two. They do come in the nice little pot though. We don't stock them, I'm afraid, but you can get them on the A Word or other places. They're the clover ones. I had a massive amount of sewing in today, so I treated myself on those. I think at one show because we were really quiet. But we do yarn needles, which are really nice big eyes like that. We do them in the shop, so give us a shout if you. They're a lot cheaper as well.
Linda Thompson says I need to do it again. I've got 7 sides.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, I will put a link to the pattern, okay? Either watch me back, or I'll also put a link to the pattern so you can have the written pattern there, and it's really nice and self-explanatory. So, yeah. That's good going, having 7.
No one else said anything.
No? Okie doke. Right, I will put the links to this up then, and I will also put the cutting instructions up for tomorrow's block, which is we're going to do the one from the Manor House one that everybody kept saying they liked, so we're going to do that block tomorrow. So I'll put the cutting instructions up for that, and I will see you, if nobody's got anything else they need to ask me, I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock, or tonight at 7 o'clock on the craft shows. If you want to watch and give me a thumbs up, that would be really lovely. Really, really nice if you could support us that way. That's fab. So yeah, 7 o'clock tonight on the craft shows, and then 1 o'clock tomorrow. And we'll do block of the week. So I'm going back to do the tax now and the VAT. Boo, yes. Have a nice day, ladies and gents. See you soon. Bye.